Well, in all of our readings so far, you may remember God's repeated instructions about the Canaanite people. If you go all the way back to Genesis 15, God promised Abraham that he would give them the land, give his descendants the land, but it wouldn't be for another 400 years because the time of the Amorites had not gone by yet. It was giving them time, I believe, to repent of their sins, come to him, but they didn't. In Exodus chapter 34 and Deuteronomy chapter 7, we see where God commands the Israelites to go into the land, and as they take the land, to drive the Canaanites out, to kill them, whatever, to eradicate them from the land. And this is judgment on them for their sins. Well, in Joshua 17, we get there and we see that they didn't drive them all the way out. Judges chapter 1 gives even greater detail about that, how they've been unfaithful to drive the Canaanites out. And finally, in Judges chapter 2 and verse 3, we see once again where it's stated that they did not drive them out of the land. And now God says, you know what? You've been unfaithful. I'm not going to drive them out. In fact, the remainder of them are going to stay here, and they're going to be thorns and a trap for you. And so we see here in our reading today that the Canaanites still live in the land. And here in Solomon's days, they still live in the land. And what did he do with the Canaanites and all these building projects that he had? Let me read to you 1 Kings chapter 9, verse 20 through 22. As for all the peoples who remained of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, who were not Israelites, their descendants who remained in the land after them, those whom the Israelites were unable to destroy completely, Solomon imposed forced labor on them. It is still this way today. But Solomon did not consign the Israelites to slavery. They were soldiers, his servants, his commanders, his captains, and commanders of his chariots and his cavalry. The Canaanites did not turn to the Lord. They continued to go in their evil, wicked ways. And we see here that this led to not only a lot of their destruction, but also to now their slavery. And their slavery to Solomon, where they're having to do all these building projects, it is a picture of a life in sin. That someone that has given their life to sin is in slavery to sin. It represents all who live in sin. And so the question then for us is, are we living in sin, and are we a slave to sin? Are we living for the Lord and serving the Lord? You see the picture there of the Canaanites. Does your life emulate that? Join me again next time as we continue reading God's Word.